Welcome to BS Section 116. I feel the need to shoot in a 45 mile per hour wind speed.
This right here has the ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
You're listening to your weekly dose of BS, ballistically speaking. The Ballistically Speaking Podcast.
I got to get one of those AI video generators, because wouldn't it be cool if we had Tom Cruise saying that intro? That he's got the need to shoot in a 45 mile an hour wind speed?
Morgan Freeman.
Even better. I want Freeman to narrate every show. I can't wait until I can live stream, like just superimpose Morgan Freeman's face over mine and have it real time change my voice to Morgan Freeman.
Just deep faking it all the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
Lindsay
was worried we weren't coming on today. Lindsay Pring, he's usually Bueller.
We gotta keep that guy in suspense, man. We
keep him in suspense. We were a little bit late. Sorry about that, Lindsay. Sorry about that, everybody else. Nancy's watching us, but Kurt's not here. I've got to believe if Nancy's tuning in, that means that Kurt will be joining us at some point. He's doing the Saskatchewan Kijiji thing where the guy says, call me sometime in the evening. And apparently that was now. So hopefully he'll join us later. Yeah. I don't know what clock Leafs use anymore. It's just after 8 p.m. here. Okay, Yukikazi was worried too. Leafs? That doesn't matter.
He's calling us Leafers.
I got it. Leafers. Okay. All right, Mike, take it away.
With the show?
That's what I meant, yes.
Introduction, the show? Okay.
Yeah.
Tonight. Yeah. Okay, yeah. We will start off with paying some bills. Tonight's show is brought to you by Callsign 66, Canada's best rifle training. Welcome to the Brotherhood. Book a course now at callsign66.ca and follow them on Instagram at callsign66, all one word, and on Facebook at C/S66.
And Ribstone Gunsmithing, craftsmanship done right. Contact Oscar at ribstonegunsmithing.ca and breathe life back into any firearm.
And we're also brought to you by Mark Scopes Canada. The Dion Optical Design line of rifle scopes has a scope for all your hunting and shooting needs. Find Doug and Nisa at markscopes.ca.
And Apex Optics. When you buy Apex, precision comes standard. Check out all the fine competition rifle scopes, red dots, and binoculars at apexoptics.co. Stay tuned for more updates on their recent releases. The Vapor 1-4 Prism, the Ion, the Edge, Black, all made in the USA and avoiding tariffs since 2025.
And we also have EM Precision Rifles in Vegreville, Alberta, building Canada's finest precision rifles. Find Shane and Steve on Facebook, Instagram, and on their website at emprifles.ca.
And Bolt Action Coffee, bringing specialty coffee to the precision shooting world. Order coffee and merchandise at boltactioncoffee.com.
And also Odell Engineering. Pick up a Canuck shotgun or Bergera rifle from your local distributor and tell them Phil sent you. Look for them up on Instagram, Flakebook, and on their website, odellengineeringlimited.com.
It's Odell Engineering Ltd.com. Don't forget it's abbreviated there, fellas. Also, Sterling Arms International, home of the R18 Mark III, soon to come back. Let's cross our fingers. And the new Sterling Arms R9. Contact them at sterlingarms.com. Look out for the R9. In and out of stores, because they seem to be selling out as fast as they get in there. So talk to your local store and see if you can get one for yourself.
There's now a map on Sterling's website of a list you can all call in order to find them, but I wish you all the best of luck.
Yeah, they're pretty much out. And it seems like, they get a shipment in, they send it out to distributors, and it's already gone. So
it's a good problem to have.
And Tyler, apologies before we start talking to you about SAPRL. Does
Mhm.
anybody mind if we take a couple of minutes just to address the elephant in the room today?
Giver.
Sure.
Mike's like, I don't know. Do we have time? I think people probably want us to comment on this gun ban idea.
Mhm.
For those who don't know, the assistant or associate minister of public safety, I can't even remember her name because I think she's an idiot, so I don't remember it. It made the announcement today that they are banning a whole new list of firearms. Seems to be centered around variants of the M1. Yeah, that's right. The M1, the underpowered M1.
Mhm.
It's so dangerous. And bullpup shotguns, which really kind of sucks because there's three shotguns from Odell Engineering that were on that list that I know were popular shotguns for them. Although it, as Phil Odell told me this afternoon, it could have been worse.
Yeah,
So
it could have been way worse.
certainly could have been. There's speculation online as to whether the R9 and the crypto were caught up in this ban, and I don't think so. Adriel from the Hunting Gear Guy, Adriel Michaud from Slamfire Radio and the Hunting Gear Guy, he did put a blog post on his website saying that the R9 and the crypto will be caught up in this ban because they are enacting the regulation requiring an FRT before selling in Canada.
Mhm.
Did a little bit more looking into that, and I don't think that that's actually the case. I think that he misunderstood the minister. And again, let's not use her name. Let's pretend that she's
Like Voldemort.
shooters who we don't use their names because we don't want to give them a notoriety. Um, she and what she said was that she will be instructing her officials to what I'm trying to remember her exact words. Instruct her officials to require the FRT before you can sell a firearm in Canada. That was part of her announcement, but there seems to be no backup to that whatsoever. There's no bulletin listing the regulation. What they did
Mhm.
post in the bulletin on the Canada.ca website does not mention it whatsoever. It appears, and there were a number of other things that she mentioned um, that haven't actually happened. They're all just announcement, and I think it's probably intended to cause confusion amongst us
Yeah.
and to make people who don't know better believe that these things are in place because they're trying to bolster, they're trying to pull more support in the polls for Mark Carney. And but none of it is actually in force except for this new ban list. So as best as I can tell, and I'm no lawyer, so talk to your lawyer before doing anything. But they're not banned as of today. Could they be banned tomorrow? Could they be banned next week? Anything could be possible. They could have been banned today. They weren't.
Yeah, it
So
seems anything's possible for our government at this point.
yeah, they're trying to throw as much spaghetti against the wall as they can to see what sticks for Carney, who it
Mhm.
seems very likely is going to be the next leader of their party, despite the fact that he's not even a fucking minister. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
I really, what would be amazing? Like, I don't want Christian Freeland to be the leader of the party because, I mean, good God, what a terrible person for this country. But I think it would be hilarious if Mark Carney actually lost and just fucked off back to wherever he came from, just like what happened with Ignatieff. Remember when they brought Ignatieff in? He was working in the United States. He wasn't even living in Canada anymore. Also not elected as an MP, and lost the leadership race and fucked off back to America, never to be heard of again. It would be kind of funny if the same thing happened to Mark Carney, but
There's a couple people in government that could maybe just crawl back in the hole they came out of and just stay away for a while.
oh, you mean like about 99% of the current Liberal Party
Yeah. Yeah.
and
There's a few in there.
100% of the current NDPs?
They always seem to, in Alberta too, like the NDPs seem to just come on up when the time is for voting, and then they don't make it, and you don't hear from them for a while, and then they're back
Yeah.
in again, and it's
Ugh,
just stay away,
ridiculous.
just go away.
Can we just give them
please.
their pension as long as they promise to never run for politics again?
I don't know.
You
It's
know,
a small price to
That's my
pay.
money. That's my money. I know.
you know what though? That's some taxpayers' money that I'd be willing to spend because they're stealing our
Yeah.
money anyway. I'd rather steal that they're taking our money to go away.
Think of the
Here's
savings.
a wad. Leave me alone.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
like,
not
here-
above
here's-
just paying hush money.
Here's your 2 million. Stop spending 19 billion on everything you look at.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a cost saving measure. Is all I'm saying.
It's like it's an investment. I see where you're coming from, Mike. You're investing.
yeah.
you got to
that's right.
spend
In
money to
peace.
make money.
That could work.
I'm just trying to catch up on all these comments here. The
Oh
Evergreen
man, don't tell me
program
Lindsay
yeah.
is Lindsay going off?
No, Lindsay's actually
Not
not
yet.
going off. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
No,
Not a
he's
keyboard warrior.
Well, I'm wondering if he logged off, getting tired of waiting for us, and we just have his comments up here, but he's not with us anymore.
That's all good.
Yeah, they're just talking about the red and yellow flag laws, but again, that's like she's announced that, but the regulation I don't see any until it's on paper, it doesn't exist. Until they list the bulletin, it's legally not in force. So and frankly, I don't even know if they can pass regulations in a prorogue parliament.
Like we were talking before the show, it's really bizarre how the doors are closed and everybody's supposed to be figuring out who's running this party and running government, but yet they're still passing all this stuff through. It's just,
I know, right?
It's like
Well,
if you have the day off, why are you at work?
they shouldn't have a day off though. They should be working.
I know.
Well, this is the thing. How did they find these guns? That's another thing that I don't know. Did they do this by order in council?
Yeah.
So I didn't see anything on the website saying that this was an order in council.
Did you check the Gazette?
No, I didn't actually.
I'm pretty sure it's there.
Well, it would, and it would have to be, right? But if anybody knows whether they can actually pass regulations or enact regulations while government is prorogued, let us know in the comments, because I'm not completely convinced that they can. I know when Parliament is shut down, they cannot. I know that Parliament is different in that Parliament isn't shut down; it's just not active. There's some subtle difference there, but I would have assumed that Parliament needs to be sitting to enact regulations, but
I want all of those people in government to be at work because I'm paying their tax. I'm paying them with my taxes.
Some of them I just don't want them to come to work.
Well, I know what you mean, but if you're gonna pay the sandbagger, he might as well at least be there.
Yeah, well, you got a point. Although I'm pretty okay paying them to have a 1 month holiday.
Yeah.
Like right now. And then we'll just go straight into an election.
Yeah. But they're still screwing around though. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, Lindsay's saying, but can't they just keep adding to the original list? I don't think that they can. I think that they have to file a new order in council every time that they do that. I thought 1AB is mentioning the 2020 OIC was passed under prorogation. I'm aware that they can pass orders in council under prorogation. Mind you, I don't think that they actually prorogued Parliament in 2020. They shut down Parliament in a different way using the Emergency Act, I thought. I don't think they actually prorogued it then, but I could be wrong on that. Anyway, I'm wasting too much time on this. Take it away, Mike. This is going to be the Mike and Tyler show because you guys are going to have the most to contribute to this episode. So I've taken my 15 minutes of fame and now I'm going to shut up for the rest of the show.
It's a hot button issue. It's got to be talked about.
Also, next week we have Jen from CS AAA SSA AAA whatever that acronym is. I can never remember it. But
CS
she'll
AAA.
be on that one. Yeah, she'll be on next week to talk about tariffs and now this mess.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some of the more. Yeah, we try to be informative once in a while.
Educate people. That's good.
I was just gonna say before, you know how bad is the government? You screw it up when regular people want to learn how our government works. We were just happy with autopilot. Like, yeah, they can't screw it up that badly. Now we're actually paying attention.
Yeah. Everybody's curious, right? Because they hear about it.
So for those that don't know, we are joined today by Tyler. He is an excellent figure in the Alberta shooting community. So
Oh,
Tyler, for those
thank
that
you.
don't know you, just take a couple minutes, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Tyler Jalbert. I've recently stepped into the role as the Southern Alberta Precision Rifle League match director slash operations, I would call it, I guess, because I'm basically in control of most of the things happening. I started, how far do you want me to go back? I'll just start with my precision rifle and then go from there, I guess.
Let's go there. That's
Um,
that's kind of what we're more focused on.
yeah, I've been shooting for precision rifles for about 5 years. Started with PRS rimfire at the Medicine Rifle Revolver Club, and then branched off about a year and a half after that into centerfire. So I've been shooting centerfire PRS matches for 3 years now, a little bit longer than that. And recently started traveling around and trying to grow in the sport myself as a competitor and yeah, just a rifle shooter. It's been really awesome actually. Meet tons of great people. The community's fantastic for that. It almost feels like a family every time you go to a match. And then yeah, it's been a wild ride, honestly. It's been really good.
Has been that is the one thing about our community that I will say is that for all like the in between talk that goes
Hmm.
around, we're basically a family, and it's like, oh, are you making it to this match? I hope you're at this match,
Yeah,
kind of thing, which is
yeah,
nice to see, especially
yeah.
in this day and age.
Oh yeah, and like you'll take a little hiatus off in the winter time and everybody's just prepping brass or they're out shooting varmints and then yeah, come summertime everybody's wondering if you're coming to the next one, if they're gonna see you again, and it's just like you never split up, right? You know, you're best friends, buddies again, right? So it's good. Yeah, it's a great
And
community.
we are kind of living in the age of the bolt gun, right? We are the golden age of bolt guns right now, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, like we were talking there, like Chris was saying, with all the different gun bans and stuff that are happening now, it seems like the precision rimfire and precision centerfire sport is really taking off. Lots of people want to just be involved, and it's been fantastic.
Well, it's like
Well, if you
you
want a
have two
low
options.
risk, sorry, Mike.
Sorry, I was gonna say, like, you have two options. Like, sure, you were shooting 3-gun or IPSC or whatever you were doing. You can either
Yeah,
A, give up, or B, come shoot PRS because we're
Transition.
still good for the most part.
yeah. There's
Yeah,
always something fun to do with guns.
yeah. If you're
Exactly.
wanting a lower risk firearm sport to be able to participate in, it's there's no question. It's objectively PRS.
Hmm. Yeah, and PRS will challenge you. Like there's closer targets, there's farther targets, there's so many different styles of barricades as well. There's lots that a match director can do to stress you out on the clock. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of stressing people on the clock, since you're now operations officer of operating with SAPRL, are we going to
Mhm.
see some interesting changes with SAPRL this year?
Yeah, so what I kind of my idea and goal with taking on the torch of SAPRL is to keep the core of what made Southern Alberta Precision Rifle League so popular in the past, and that's just a good course of fire and um, just a solid match. So what I'm looking to bring to the table is a couple new props for guys to check out. I'm gonna be kind of slimming down on the swingy stuff, things that swing while your rifle's on it. We're gonna be looking at different types of steel as well, different shapes, sizes, things like that. And just with match flow and everything as well, we're gonna play around with it a bit, see how it goes. I'm sure that so maybe some of my silent partners might say that's a bad idea, but we'll see how it goes. But in the most part, it's going to be what made SAPRL great. Good match flow, uh, good good community, lots of awesome stages, and not a super complex course of fire. I'm not aiming to make your make your head spin while you're trying to shoot it, but we'll see.
Lindsay's asking here in the comments. He's saying, "I heard free camping and booze on Saturday nights. Can you confirm or deny that's happening?"
Yeah, so if you go to the Medicine Hat Gas City campground there, and you bring the booze for everybody, and you pay everybody's spot, sure.
It's free for everybody but Lindsay.
Free for everybody else but Lindsay. Yeah. So the one thing that it's actually one of the more common questions that I've been asked is there going to be camping on site? And unfortunately, that's just not a risk that we want to take being on somebody else's land.
Mm.
It's usually Alberta. It's dry as a fart out here. Like it can be kind of testy that way. So we would rather just see guys after the match go do what makes you smile. If that's going home to the wife and kids, or if that's going to the camper and hanging out with the buddies and drinking a beer, have at her, right? But we're there to have fun during the day and shoot a good match. And yeah, if you want to hang out at the trucks afterwards, for sure. But yeah, there's just too much with liability and stuff that way. So
That brings up a good question, and I don't know how much you can actually speak to this, and feel free
Mhm.
just to talk about whatever you can with it. How does that work for insurance? Like, it's got to be difficult enough to get insurance even just to hold a match, let alone
Mhm.
something like you're talking about, permitting people to camp there, or whatever. Like that must be like
Yeah.
an insurance liability nightmare.
Well, that's why safety is number one priority at most matches you go to, right? Because the last
Yeah.
thing you want is something to go wrong, because then it could be detrimental to the future of what we're doing, right? So if
Mm.
um, everybody that shows up to the match has to have some form of insurance. If you look at our registration form on Practice Score, that's one thing that I did change going forward was SAPRL always wanted you to have a CCFR number, or
All right.
CCFR membership.
Right.
But with joining the PRS and trying to grow our community a little bit here, we're looking at any option. As long as you have a personal policy that protects you against any kind of harm or anything like that, you're more than welcome. But we do ask for some form of proof in that regard. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just taking a breath.
Oh,
I
big
always sound
gasp.
like I'm about to say something. Carry
Yeah,
on.
and then yeah, and as far as like landowner and stuff goes, like that's really up to us to just be safe on their land. Just show respect. Let's try not to have any instances. Safety is the number one priority.
Does the insurance that SAPRL gets? I'm assuming you have insurance through one of the organizations
Mhm.
available in Canada. That is, I'm assuming this is something similar to the fighting world. And you tell me if I'm right here. The match director, let's say, because that's this industry, would
Mhm.
have liability insurance for them and their people, and
Mhm.
but that does not extend to individuals, which is why you asked that they have their own personal insurance. Is that accurate?
Essentially, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one of the biggest things, and we do have a group of people that are really trying to get a cemented policy in the works from CCFR and some of these other insurance providers, because again, with Canada, it's kind of murky, a lot of this insurance stuff that happens.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really dedicated group of people that are looking to try and get a cemented policy for us match directors to help us going forward with insurance, so that we can be covered, not just us and the shooters, but also the landowners as well, because that's something that's very
Yeah.
overlooked with a lot of matches, right? So
Yeah.
that's why we always say safety is the number one priority,
Yeah.
because if something were to happen, like it could really put a bump in the road for what we're trying to do.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah. It's almost a zero tolerance industry. Hey.
yeah, pretty much it could be a pretty big problem. So that's why everybody's got to be insured. Like
You guys want to take a guess at who is on the EM Precision Rifles Facebook page right now, whether it's Shane or whether it's Steve? My guess is Shane.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say it was Carrie.
It's Carrie. Yeah, no, Carrie's on her own Facebook page. Yeah, I wonder how many shooters actually think about that sort of stuff. Because that's got to be a major thing in the back of your mind as a match director, as a promoter,
Mhm.
at all times. Hey.
Oh, for sure. And it's the biggest part is making sure that the range officers and stuff like that are well equipped too to know what to look for, right? And just making sure that all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, right? And it's
Yeah.
not about protecting Steve operates back goes. It's not about just protecting yourself, it's protecting other people too, right? Just in case something were to happen. And
Yeah.
we know I've been to so many matches and we never I've never seen a problem yet. So it's been rock solid.
Kind of a testament to the gun industry, and actually a way that
Oh,
it's
for sure.
even a little bit different than the martial arts industry. It's funny. Both of
Mhm.
them can the sport aspect, both of them carry an inherent level of danger with them. But one thing I've
Mhm.
noticed being in both worlds for the last number of years, that gun owners are, in general, are much more cognizant and on board
Mhm.
with the safety protocols
Yeah.
that are typically enacted in the martial arts world. Man, the promoters
Yeah.
always worried about liability and insurance, and the athletes are like, "Fuck it, YOLO, let's go."
Yeah.
It's
Let
probably
me
a
in
good
there.
thing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably a good thing that that gun athletes are a little bit different in that regard.
Yeah, well, it just shows that like a lot of competitors have respect for this sport, right? They
Hmm.
understand that we're constantly under attack from our own government and other people that we just need to play by the rules, play together, and have a good time, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
mhm.
Well, that's what our community does. Like you're walking around, like you walk back towards the line, and all your chamber flag falls out because sometimes they
Yeah.
fall out. Someone will stop you, say, "Hey, you dropped yours," or if you don't have one here, take one of mine. I have 32 in my pack. Like,
Yeah. You throw them around like candy, right? Everybody's got one, and yeah, it's a good tool to have a spare, especially in your back pocket or in your pack, because walking down the line, that sucker might go missing. But yeah, that's up to the range officers, and safety is everybody's priority too, right? That's not just
Hmm.
for me as it's a big priority for me as a match director, but it should be a huge priority for you as a competitor as well, because we're trying to create a safe environment because we want everybody to feel comfortable when they're there, new, old, veteran. We want everybody to feel like they're in a safe environment and that they're able to have fun that way, right? And have a good time.
because I'm not gonna lie, center fire was intimidating the first time I went to shoot it. I'll be
The big
totally honest.
boomers.
Yeah. Well, not only that, it's like I have to worry about so much more different stuff right now, like muzzle direction and the weight of the gun
Hmm.
is different, and there's a
Yeah,
lot more power behind this round.
yeah, and it is and it is like, and from a match director standpoint, the hardest part about the center fire compared to the rim fire would be just more the setup. It takes a lot more to set up a center fire course of fire than it would a rim fire. But I find safety wise, because I've done a lot of NRL 22 Canada matches and stuff like that at the Rifle Revolver Club, it's very much the same. It's copy paste. Like your chamber flag's got to be in, your muzzle's got to be up. I don't want it down, around, straight up. And some rimfire rifles now are getting heavy too. Like
Yeah.
my rimfire rifle's 23 pounds. So yeah, it mimics my center fire rifle to the T, so that when I'm flipping from one discipline to the other, I just got to look down the optic and pull the trigger. So
So you've got a 23 pounds more for like consistency in handling, or is there a practical reason for a 23-pound 22?
a little bit of both. So yeah, for me, it's mostly for the consistency of handling. I have the
Yeah.
same optic on both my centerfire rimfire rifle. I have the same chassis on both as well. I feel like a rimfire rifle, once you get into like that, like if they're super light, like you're talking like 5, 6, 7 pounds, yeah, you're gonna drop that sucker in a bag and it might have a little bit of play to it, a little bit of motion of the ocean when you're on that sandbag. But then when you get into like the 15, 16 pound range with the rimfire, you can just plop that sucker on the bag and practically free recoil it. Like it'll
Oh
just
yeah.
Yeah.
do the job for you, right?
You don't even need
So
to shoulder it.
yeah,
Oh, I would love to shoot like that on a regular basis. Just put my gun down
free recoil.
and hit the trigger. Yeah,
Yeah, hit
that'd
the
be
boom
amazing.
button and then it just goes. Yeah, 23 pounds is crazy, but it's what I'm used to. With center fire, it's a bigger deal with center fire for sure.
Oh yeah, I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jumping back to center fire for a second. So SAPRL is joining PRS this year.
Yes.
So we'll be,
yes, we are.
So are we going to be seeing some Americans come up here to try to win some points?
Well, that would be awesome. So far, I can't say for sure. I don't know too many of the American names, but that's the goal, is to just get a little bit more more exposure in the United States as well, to get them up here to compete with us, right? Because there's some really good shooters down there, and if we can get some of that talent up here to shoot with us, it might even grow our competitors as well, making some of these guys take that next step to be even better shooters. One of the biggest reasons that SAPRL did go PRS though for this new year was it's just something that a group of people have been really asking for and really looking for, and it to me, when I stepped into this role, it seemed like kind of a no-brainer just to offer that to guys, to try and prevent some of our Canadian shooters from going to the States to collect these PRS points, and keeping our competitors in Canada, so that we can keep growing it, right? It's like playing any kind of sport or game. Like if you play pool against players that aren't as good as you, well, you kind of become static, right? But as you play with better competitors, you can start to increase your skill level, right? Especially being on the line, talking to guys and stuff like that too. So that was one of the biggest reasons, just keeping our shooters in Canada if we can, and of course they can travel if they want, right? But and
Mm-hmm.
if they don't like my match, then they might not come back either. But the goal is to keep them here, keep them shooting.
Not only that, but then like to go to the States right now, I could probably
Mhm.
shoot 4 matches for the same price.
Oh
And
yeah. So I just signed up for the Snake River match in Idaho, and after conversion, that is a swift kick in the junk. It's an expensive endeavor. Whereas up here in Canada, it's a little bit easier on the pocketbook for sure. Rates and stuff haven't changed for SAPRL matches at all this year. Kept that the same going forward. And for American shooters coming up here, man, with our exchange rate, that'll be
your
a
your
cheaper
match is
match.
half off.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Like it'll be a lot easier on the
And
pocketbook. So
being so being down so far south, it's not going to be much of an effort for them to come up to either. Like they don't have to
no,
travel
not at
very
all.
far.
Yeah, we're not far from the border at all, right? So getting a little bit more exposure to it, the PRS is nice, because then it's advertised, right, for us a little bit on the website and stuff like that as well. So hopefully we get some more eyes on these matches, get some new skin in the game, get some new guys up here coming and shooting, right? So
For those, say someone's never shot a center fire match, what should they be focusing on if this is going to be their first time at SAPRL, something like that?
I would say if you're a new shooter and you're fresh to center fire, just focus on the basic fundamentals of marksmanship. Don't try and rush the clock. You're not looking to be the buzzer beater. Just take her slow, have fun, listen to the other shooters around you. Maybe not their win calls, but listen to some little advice that they might have, and yeah, just focus on making good trigger pulls and impacts. There's nothing wrong with taking your time, because you might find out that you're actually going to come out ahead. You're going to be farther ahead taking your time and just focusing than you would be being Speedy Gonzalez and trying to rush the clock. And I know it's easier said than done, because lots of guys, when you hit the buzzer, they are just like, they go into shock and panic that I gotta go now, and I gotta make these impacts, right? And yeah, not good. Just take her slow.
Yeah, you can turn money into noise, or you can turn it into points. The choice is up to you.
And nothing's better than when you pull the trigger, you hear the boom, and then you can either hear the plate or see the plate, and you hear impact. That's better. if you got guys in your squad that are like the guys that I shoot with, they'll even whisper, they're like, miss, miss. And then that makes you feel good when you miss all the time and they tell you.
I do like how we can chirp each other like as people are shooting, and it's just totally fine, and most people are
Hey.
pretty much cool with it. I love that aspect of this sport.
Oh yeah, like it goes back to that family aspect, right? Everybody's just there to have a good time and do a little bit of ribbon, right? And even in my first year of shooting, there were some people that I just first met and they're chirping me. And I'm like, I don't even know you. But you know, it was no skin off my back and got to know them eventually. And yeah, we're chirping now all the time. Facebook, Instagram, in person, don't matter. So
isn't that toxic? Toxic
No.
masculinity.
Hey, take your masculinity conversation somewhere else.
Yeah.
We were doing just fine with our gender fluid conversation before you came on.
Well, it sounds to me like you needed a damn check, didn't you?
Masculinity check.
We were getting too close to the line. Kurt's like, I can't have that.
Sure.
Welcome,
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Sorry
Yeah,
about that. I had a very important mission.
Did the guy from Kijiji buy your product?
What?
Did he show up and buy what you were selling?
Oh, this is a different story. At least tonight, anyway. I'm not going to reveal any of my personal recreation activities.
Are you responsible for all that fentanyl on the streets?
Me? I'm not saying nothing.
We don't have a Fifth Amendment, Kurt.
Oh, shit. Yeah, just a broadcast across the country.
Yeah, why not?
This is
as good a platform as any.
Sure.
We
No,
should
had a nice gentleman bring me some beef, and without beef, you get no toxic masculinity.
I had completely forgot what you wrote. I was telling everybody that you had some sort of weird Kijiji farmers deal going. I was pretty close. I got the farmer correct.
Yeah.
Buddy, you want to buy a tractor?
Hey man, you want to buy a cow?
Get a well-used lawnmower over here.
Well, now that Rooster's completely derailed our conversation, do either of you two remember what you were actually saying?
Welcome.
Let's see, we were talking about chirping before that. First time coming to a match. Where were we before that? So we can get the train back on the track.
We were just talking about matches.
All I heard.
Yeah.
I had something for this. And then I heard a beep, and then it all went to a blur.
Yeah, if you're a new shooter, just take her slow. That's all we were talking about. Take her slow.
Scotty Chitchell is questioning that. He seems to be asking what happened to shoot fast, don't suck.
I mean, that's
if you can shoot fast and not suck, that's great. But not everybody can do that. If you can't, just shoot slow and hopefully still not suck.
Well, if we're blessed by the wonderful winds of SAPRL, it'll be another 45-mile-an-hour wind the entire time.
Yeah,
45, is that all it was?
We've had kestrels go down in previous years because it's been so windy.
Two blew up. It was the first SAPRL last year. 2 kestrels exploded.
Mm-hmm. And I was just a shooter back then. I didn't believe it until I saw it, and I saw proof, and I was like, holy crap, really? Aren't these things aren't these built to measure wind?
Built to military grade specifications, and it's gone.
Yeah.
I remember looking down the line at that match, and then you just watch tripods just kind of casually fall over as the day goes by.
Yep. Strap rocks to your tripod, spike them in the ground, whatever you got to do to keep them up. But it's definitely common to see. It can happen.
I had my game changer on my tripod. That just made it fall harder when it blew over.
Yeah. It's always the worst too.
Any upgrades to the mobile bathrooms out there? Seems
Uh,
to me, I think the bar's been raised by someone else.
yeah, no,
With
we're
regard
still
to
using
bathrooms.
we're still using the same shitter guy for our porta johns there. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to bake in the sun. Just make it fast, and then you won't cook, right? Just get out of there.
Could you imagine being
Get
that
fast,
guy
don't
and
sweat.
people ask you what you're doing for a living, and he's just kind of like, "Well, I'm the shitter guy for
I'm the shitter
SAPRL."
guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so funny story when the torch got passed and all the contacts got passed off to me, Chad, one of the other match directors, he sent me that number and I'm looking, I'm like, so who do I call for the toilets? And I'm scrolling and it's literally the shitter guy. So I'm like, well, that's obvious. All right.
Oh, somebody needs to have that in a physical Rolodex.
Yeah.
Is it under T or S? Is it the shitter guy or is it just shitter guy?
Shitter guy.
I mean, sometimes it's
wonderful.
better the bull that you know.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
right. Yeah,
Wish I had
no,
a shitter guy.
Apex really stepped the bar up with those bathrooms. They were top notch for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Home of the air conditioned washroom's going to become a
our-
tagline.
Our goal is to just make sure that there's enough bathrooms within walking distance, so it's just convenient. Especially
Is
for
the firing line gonna stay like similar length, or are we going longer, shorter?
so my game plan, and I might get talked out of this eventually, is to go shorter in a different area on the land.
Okay.
So day one, you'll be shooting in one area, and day two, you'll be moving to a different area. So I'll just hook up to the trailer, take that up for day two, and then we'll be shooting in a different area.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
So
how much land do you have available to you out there? Like I know what that kind of the typical layout that it's been for I don't know how long now, all through that sort of valley.
yeah,
You've got another place now,
yeah, we're
or
still
additional
shooting at
space.
yeah, we're still shooting on the same land as well. So Sean and Chad just stuck to what was not stuck to, but they moved around over the years, right? Back and forth. So what I'm looking to do is it's going to be in that same general area because being the first year of me running this, want to play it safe, but just kind of changing the way we go about it. So three or so years ago, they were shooting off the in the coulees. You would shoot into the coulees, so you had lots of backstops, lots of different environment down there as well. So I'm looking to implement that as well as the backside that most guys know and love and sometimes hate, but just kind of maybe cutting that down a bit so we're not so into the grass. And if it works, if it works. If it doesn't, then we'll make sure that you still have a good time. There is some spots down in the river as well, but the problem with that is they can get washed out if we get a bad rain. We're going to be down there pulling posts and moving it, right? So that's why it's just always safer to kind of stay up top, because setting that up and then having to tear it all back down and then change all your matchbooks and stuff like that. Oh man, I don't really want to gamble that with a match of this size, right?
That's a lot of volunteers.
Oh yeah, I got some boys from work that are willing to help out, but I don't know, some grain-fed mules, but still I feel bad for them.
There's a question just came in from Lindsay. He says, will you be doing both center and rimfire on that land?
So yes, one of the new things, I guess I should say, that I've brought in for this year is I was looking to offer something that we don't have in Alberta yet. So basically, I'm being a rimfire shooter and a centerfire shooter. I've gone to a lot of different matches, and every time I go to a rimfire match, it seems like you're on a square range, on a range, shooting that way. So what I was looking to do is bring in something a little bit bigger. I don't know if I'm all about spectacle or not, but I'm into big style matches. So that's why we brought in our Heat Wave match. Heat Wave is going to be a 2-day
good logo.
rimfire
Put that
match.
up again.
Did you take that directly off a sunscreen bottle?
That's
familiar.
It actually, you know what it looks like? It looks like it came off of a tattoo shop's book.
Yeah,
It's pretty neat.
yeah, Angry Sun. So heat wave's going to be very similar to a 2-day center fire event, just shrunk down to a rim fire event. So we're going to have all the things that you know and love with crazy directions, pans, target acquisition. So instead of just looking down range, like, oh, there's my target, you're gonna have to be like, well, it's a field match. There's so much space. Where can like we can play with the landscape a little bit more that way, right? So I guess short answer, yes. The 2-day heat wave match will be on that land. So
And then I understand one of them is going to be the regional for the foothills region.
yeah, so actually two of our matches are this year. So again, heat wave, the hot sauce sunscreen logo we have here. That's going to be a 2-day match, but day one is going to be just a regular PRS regional rimfire match, and then day two is going to be the foothills PRS rimfire regional finale. So being a finale match, you're looking at 12 stages, and at the end of it, SAPRL is gonna present trophies for and prizes for the regional finale for that one day, but then also then you will have your regional finale trophies that guys will be able to be presented from being the best in the whole foothills region. And then we also have the center fire match, Prairie Classic. So that is going to be the center fire PRS regional finale as well. So that is a 2-day match. Day one again is just going to be a regular center fire match for regional points, and then day two will be a center fire regional finale as well. So we were able to get both those.
Can you put that Prairie Classic logo up again? Because I love that logo.
Yeah, I was looking for something a little bit more like classic westerny, and we went from tractors to this. So
Well, you know why I love that logo? Because it looks exactly like something that would have come off of the opening screen of a Looney Tunes cartoon with Bugs
Right.
Bunny and
Oh,
Yosemite Sam.
yeah. Yeah, we should hide like the Roadrunner or something over
coyote.
here.
Just have like a little silhouette of Yosemite Sam peeking out behind that cactus or something.
Yeah. I'm always worried about like trademarks and stuff like that though. So my Yosemite Sam would have to look different. I don't know if I'd make them Chinese or what, so that I don't get sued.
I actually don't think so. I'm pretty sure Looney Tunes went into public domain. It's
little do I know.
I'm pretty sure it's old enough that all Looney Tunes is in public domain now, which is why they don't really make that stuff anymore. Why they use all the new characters for Looney Tunes now, like they created all those new ones.
Yeah,
because I think the originals went into public. I should look that up before I say that, because I'm a lawyer.
That's good though.
You're a Canadian gun lawyer. You're basically a lawyer at this point.
Basically,
yeah, right.
I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night, and if that's not good enough, I'm also a Canadian gun owner. Okay, so only some Looney Tunes are in public domain.
I'm thinking like Bugs Bunny and classics.
Probably. I'm just
Daffy, Tweety. I could start naming them off, but that's not really why we're here. Tyler, I noticed you got some new sponsors that are going to be coming on board. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So the support from the community has been fantastic, but then the support from the industry has been phenomenal as well. So been reaching out and talking to many different sponsors since probably November. And they're just super stoked to see what we're doing with the PRS and trying to grow the sport and show people that, hey, we can still have fun with firearms and it's not a bad thing. And yeah, like you guys saw probably this morning on our Facebook there, we made a huge announcement. SAPRL is going to be having a title sponsor for the Cactus Cup, which is going to be Lapua. So Lapua is going to be the title sponsor of that match, and we're really happy to have them on board and they're really happy to be on board too, to just provide for the community, because they've kind of dipped their toes in that. They've kind of dipped their toes in that PRS market. There's 6 Dasher casings coming out now through Lapua and 6 GT as well. So yeah,
it kind of seemed like, on the rimfire side, it kind of seemed like they really wanted to support more like the silhouette and the biathlon, the bench rest guys.
Yeah.
And now it kind of seems like they've caught on, oh, wow, PRS is actually growing. We should pay a bit
Well,
more attention to them, which is nice.
yeah, they see that there's growth in that sport, and there's a community there, but also too, like, one of the biggest helps for that as well has been actually Steven at Hirsch Precision. He's talking with them over at Lapua and saying like, hey, like this is growing. People are interested. There's exposure here as well. Like either sink or swim, like get on the boat, right? And I think that they've noticed that as well. And it's not just a center fire too. Like they do sponsor quite a bit of rimfire as well. Like you more than, I can't say for sure, but Hirsch Precision is going to be one of our sponsors as well, and for all three of our matches. So you're going to see some stuff on the rimfire prize tables too, giving back to
Very
those guys
nice.
as well. So yeah, it's phenomenal.
Imagine that's got to be a tough sell in Canada. Hey, come
Mhm.
sponsor our matches or show that there's interest, because it's not, I don't know, to me it doesn't seem like we have a wildly flourishing shooting sports industry in Canada compared to a lot of
No,
countries, right? But
yeah, and it is hard. Like you're definitely playing you're kind of playing the marketing button a bit, right?
yeah.
You say like, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we can do for you. This is the community that you'd be involved with. Are you interested? Right. And especially when you can show that like families are coming out, spending time together, there's camaraderie, and
Mhm.
that it is a growing sport. Like PRS Rimfire is actually one of the ways that I bait the hook on guys. So I'll say, hey, get involved in PRS Rimfire. It's cheaper. It's easier. And then they get a feel for it. And the next thing you know, you're like, hey, try
Yeah,
center fire. It's great. It's a little bit more money. And then
yeah,
all of a sudden they're in it. Like they're in the hole, and they're like not like debt wise, but like, well, maybe, but they're in the hole
yeah.
of
We
knowledge
we
and
do
just
not
trying to get
provide
into the sport.
divorce insurance.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, don't listen to me. I'm no accountant or nothing, but if you want to go into debt to buy the gun, it's probably a good idea. But
SAPRL brought to you by Fairway Divorce Associates.
yeah,
I'm going to derail you with one more even. Apparently, the classic Looney Tunes characters, they become public domain in the early 2030s. So you got like 8 more years or so before you can use Yosemite Sam and Elmer Fudd.
Yosemite Sam will be mine, I guess, eventually. I'll have to rework those logos.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to use Elmer Fudd. No, the NRL needs to use Elmer Fudd.
Didn't they take
Yeah.
away his
For
gun
Hunter.
and give him like a fucking hoe or something like that? Wasn't that
Oh,
news like 3-4 years ago or something stupid?
Yeah, I remember something about that. I think
He
they
no
just
longer has
straight
an old
took
double
away his
barrel.
gun.
Yeah.
I feel
it was for a kid show for like 6-year-olds or something, like, and it was a modern
Mhm.
like redo. It's not like the old one.
Fucking stupid either
I
way.
hear this, I see and hear this stuff, and if it comes into my brain as a dumb idea, I just don't even
Out.
don't give it the time of day. It just makes me mad.
I used to do that until all of the dumb ideas started affecting my life.
Oh,
You got to
yeah, that's
pay
right.
attention to them
Way
now.
too many dumb ideas to battle.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna go fight these dumb ideas and make some good ones.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? You guys will
Yeah.
vote for me, right?
Yeah, I
The
just met
Supreme
you.
Leader?
Sure.
Vote for Pedro.
That was the most non-commit. Yeah, okay.
I just
Sure.
want to know what you're voting for. Like, is it head of the fish and game or like ruler of the world? You know, like, there needs to be a title with that.
I think I'm going to run for what do you call it? School board division director or whatever. I'll get
from there.
yeah, I'll
There's a
get
couple
rifle
CFO
training back in
positions.
the schools.
Yeah, you'll
There
have to
you go.
color your hair though just to get in.
I'll have to have hair to color.
Just dye your beard. Dye your beard
I
like
could totally.
purple.
I don't have to. If I grow it out any longer than it is, it starts to look very disturbingly similar to Kurt's. It's
We
just
gotta get you guys-
A second.
his is gray when it's short. Mine only starts to get gray when it grows out a bit.
First step, public schools, and then next step, prime minister. Is that what you're going for? That's your.
Yep. Yeah. School division, and then PM directly. I mean, fucking Trudeau wasn't even school division director or whatever they call them. So
Takes
I
a lot of
figure
work
it's
to be a drama
possible.
teacher.
I can take a photograph by a Mercedes and work my way up from there.
Doesn't even
Well, then
have
you're
to
just
be your
The only
influencer.
thing is, Trudeau actually had his face on milk cartons there for a while.
He did.
Elaborate.
Kidding, because of how he left teaching. Get it? Yeah. Stay away.
We
from
will
this.
neither confirm or deny
No?
that unless there's a
Okay.
large check sent to us.
Well, I think what you're alluding to is that Fidel Castro wasn't the only one who might have illegitimate children out there in the world.
Yeah, partially. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Something to do with a student inappropriateness stuff.
Oh yeah.
Pansy.
How
How to bring down a conversation by Kurt.
Oh,
He meant me to tell me to watch my mouth, but
Yeah, there's no mounting here. No mounting on this show.
Kurt's for our audio listeners. Shane says that Kurt's beard is a goddamn inspiration. He's only saying that so that you'll compliment his beard, by the way. So I mean,
That's not
you
gonna
may as well
happen.
do that.
I don't know how he gets that stuff so straight. It must it's like a mini hair straightener.
He
thing.
uses a
Never could
cardboard.
achieve that.
Yeah,
He's got a cardboard cutout
template.
Template.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Shane? Oh no, he's got a picture of like the old Star Wars Clone Wars cartoon of the Count Dooku dude, and it's like a spitting image.
He has Count Dooku's beard. That is true.
For those who don't know, Google it. You'll see it instantly.
They're not going to have to, because I'm going to side by side a picture of Shane and Count Dooku.
Count Dooku.
From the Star Wars Clone Wars cartoon. It is like
Oh, that guy.
it's Shane.
Yeah, you guys keep talking. I'll let you know when I got the photos ready here for you.
Okay. So Tyler, I'm in my practice score right now registering for the Cactus Cup. And I'm noticing there's a lunch option.
That's right.
We're getting food.
Of course.
To prioritize.
Some of the best things to do is get together with friends, have a meal together, and communicate, right? So if you're going to come to a SAPRL match, we're going to feed you. So all the meals are going to be hand delivered by my wife and some friends. So while you're shooting, they're going to be coming in with the food and brown bag style, and here you go, and you don't have to leave the firing line or nothing. So
that is pretty cool.
We're kind of. Have you ever been to
tracking technique?
Yeah. If you're on the line shooting, they'll just throw the bag at you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if any of you guys shot
Sponsored by Lindsay.
Cypress Showdown, Colton Bachman's matches,
I
so
have not.
he used to do something similar as well. He'd come by on a side by side and his was just a cooler full of sandwiches, and he would just like, come on in, and everybody just comes and piles in, grabs a sandwich. Right, we're going similar route, but with a little more a different spin on it, right? So you picked your lunch option, so we're gonna give you exactly what you're asking for in a bag with your name on it, and you'll get that on the firing line.
That's
That's awesome.
awesome because during a match, I know for a fact nutrition is not something we think about. Like you might, the day starts with a Red Bull, and then at lunch you might hoover a Cliff Bar or some Old Dutch Big Chief beef jerky, and that's about it.
Yeah, then you're basically living off of water and caffeine because you're drinking coffee the whole time you're there, and then then you just got the jitters.
Guys, are you ready for this?
I guess.
Oh,
We have a choice.
You have no choice, but trust me, this is worth it. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Okay, Shane Mansour. Everybody sees Shane Mansour, correct?
Got it.
Shane. For those who don't know, Shane
In the spank
Mansour,
bank.
co-owner of EM Precision Rifles, fantastically groomed well cut, angular looking beard, and
Doesn't look like there's
very
any
sharp.
wind out there.
and fantastic sunglasses, by the way. And now Shane Mansour in 10 years. Oh, come on, where is it? There we go. 10 years from now. Am I right or am I right?
And there goes
you-
the sponsorship.
You gotta use the live action version.
Almost
I'm
just looked like
sure
a
I'll get a
cartoon
lovely
version of
message
Shane.
about pointing that out.
It was a cartoon version of Shane, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Carrie enjoyed it, so that means the sponsorship will endure.
All right.
Lives to see another day.
She's like, that's awesome. He was a
He's a
Jedi.
Jedi.
He was a Sith. Well, I guess he was a Jedi. He was a Jedi and a Sith.
Mm.
Anyway, I'm
All I
sorry.
hear is
I keep
tinnitus.
derailing you guys.
It happens.
It's good.
Hey, are you going to start maybe some snake wrestling out there as a kind of a side gig, side game?
So pay $20 and you get to wrestle a rattlesnake?
Sure.
That's
all
a
possible.
Yeah, I know it is.
If you choke the snake out, you get a box of ammo.
No snake choking during the competition, please. No, not a good idea. It's a family
you gotta
event.
use, if you're
Yeah.
going to do that, you have to go use the shitter guys porta potties for privacy.
That's right.
Snake wrestling brought to you by the shitter guy.
The shitter guy.
That's gonna be the halftime show with lunch.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the one. The reason why we're handing out lunches on the line too is I don't know how many matches I've been to that have done that, but we're not taking lunch breaks. You eat while you're on the line because match flow is #1 priority. And I feel like too, if guys take a break and go eat and they come back, it's no different when you have a lunch break at work. You're like, oh man, like I'm full, right? And then you're trying to move around. It's not good,
Also,
so.
the match directors would like to leave, so if you're still shooting at 9 o'clock at night, they'd like you to hurry it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. We have things to do as well, but we're there for you, right? Make sure you have a good time.
There's always that one squad.
Yeah, they're usually hanging back, taking lots of pictures and stuff, and I get it. It's a big thing, right? You want to capture the memories of all the fun you're having, and it's good for the Instagram as well and the Facebook, right? But if it gets to the point where it's slowing down the match, you're gonna see me on the quad rolling up probably with a broomstick.
Watch out!
Get going.
Watch out for Tyler on the quad. Oh, he's got the broomstick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you're just going to
Keep
have
moving.
everybody filming you on the quad with the broomstick, and the whole match is going to slow down.
Yeah. Then I'll just drive away on the quad, and you just won't see me. Somebody else will close the show. Be gone in embarrassment. But.
Well, the great news, guys, is you're not going to be derailed by me anymore. Unfortunately, I've got a work text, and I'm going to have to dip out a little bit early. But so you guys should be able to stay on track for most of the rest of the show. But Tyler, thanks for indulging my bullshit for the last hour, and thanks for coming on the show. And guys, I'll see you guys all on the flip side.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Good luck.
Okay, take it easy.
Bye, everyone.
You're still here, Chris.
So yeah,
Leave for fuck's sake.
Yeah, he's like a bad fart. He lingers.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
has
like
been the
speaking of-
source of our derailing for the last 4 episodes.
Yeah, well, it's
forever.
big things happen today, right? Firearms ban lists and everything like that. People are probably wanting to talk about it, and they're not happy, right?
I am very unhappy that I can't shoot gas gun this year.
Yeah.
Like the second PRS has come, I'm gonna go shoot gas gun. I'm gonna be the only guy in it. I'm gonna have a blast.
Yeah.
And the day that my barrel showed up, they banned the gun it was going in.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, now I
It's-
feel
What was
bad because I had
Or
a
can you
6 arc
mention it?
barrel coming.
Oh.
Yeah, we were gonna cram it in a BCL or we're gonna try to work it into a Sterling. Because like 6 arc and a gas gun would be awesome.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
I've been twisted all day about this shit.
About what?
There's a lot of stuff that we can't do
This
that the
announcement
Americans
today.
can do though. Gas gun suppressor division, right? Like PRS has an actual suppressor division and they have suppressor certs, but us Canadians can't really indulge in that, eh?
What if
It's
we
too
got
bad.
some of them like surefire training suppressors and then like just took cash?
Yeah.
Like it's in the spirit of shooting suppressed, and some of those actually
Mhm.
do kind of quiet the blast down a little bit, but
Yeah. I just want an Area 419 Maverick, man. I just give me what I want and I'll be happy.
what was I looking
Lord,
at
I'm
SHOT Show?
just hoping to keep what we have, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. hmm
You know, I'm really surprised. I've thought about this a lot. How well shooting sports in Canada have adjusted, and
hmm
I guess we're we're a resilient bunch in ways, but yet there's so much squabbling between people of the same damn group. I can't believe we've survived as long as we have. But you know, in
Yeah.
spite of the fact that our brothers to the south have so much more fun, or at least on paper, we've done fairly well,
Yeah.
even though we keep getting hit consistently.
Well, it's a good group, right? Everybody's looking to raise all ships instead of sink all ships, eh? We want to see
Yeah.
everybody thrive in this industry because it's like you said earlier, it's constant under attack, which is too bad because it's a
Mhm.
great place to meet people and build a strong community, right?
And once you get that community big enough, it's going to get to the point where it's almost too big to fail.
Yeah, yeah, it
I
can
don't
be, or it
know.
becomes a
I'd,
massive
I'd like to
target.
think, yeah,
But
Well, I mean,
yeah,
even if you compare it to hunting, like you can hunt once a year, or you could come shoot matches the rest of the year to practice for hunting in a
mhm.
probably similar style to how you're going to hunt minus the truck that you're shooting off of.
the truck is
Well,
essential,
that's
especially when
originally
you get
why
to
I got
seniors
into
class.
matches. Oh yeah, yeah. I got
No,
into shooting
that,
center fire and rim fire to become a better hunter because I'm like, oh yeah, shooting 1,200 yards, right? And then it just kind of stuck. I'm like, man, I'm starting looking forward to shooting more matches. And
how many matches do you think you're going to
Yeah.
get in this year with organizing SAPRL and all
then, well, probably 12 or so.
That's a good number. We should say you do
Yeah,
other stuff besides SAPRL too.
yeah, I do. I'm on the board of directors with the Rifle Revolver Club as well. So I host NRL 22 Canada matches there, and then I also do rimfire bench rest there as well for the older guys. So yeah, so
Sorry, I
I've been
couldn't
doing
hear
Sorry,
NV
I
you much
stuff
couldn't
for
for
a
a
hear
while.
you. Yeah. All I know is the sound that it makes when it lies. Name that movie.
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm a dude
I was
playing a dude
Kurt.
disguised as another dude.
We watched that at SHOT Show. That's how I know.
That was only about the 80th time for me.
It's
So
a
maybe you
classic.
guys addressed it before, but how many matches are you gonna have out there this year, Tyler? What do you got planned?
So right now I have 3 matches planned. The first one being the Cactus Cup Pro Series match, and then that'll be May 31st, June 1st, and then August 2nd and 3rd is the Heat Wave 2-day rimfire PRS match, and then the Prairie Classic, which will be in September, which is the 6th and 7th, which is center fire. So 2 center fire matches, 1 rimfire match, all 2 days.
That's all the same property there.
hmm Yeah,
Okay.
we're just gonna shift it around a bit, and so the Heat Wave match, like I had mentioned, I think I mentioned this before, it's going to be very similar to the Cactus Cup Pro Series match, just shrunk down to rimfire. So you're going to be at the Cactus Cup, you're going to have your long distance stages. Like most of you guys know from the SAPRL matches prior, you'll have the 1100, 1,000 yard targets. Heat wave, we're looking at doing 450. Like you're going to do a troop line bar. We have the distance. We can make it work. So yeah,
That's gonna be awesome. I'm
bring
looking
your
forward to that a lot.
bring your A game. It'll be fun. And yeah, the the more flexibility you have as a match director too, when you're not stuck on a square range is quite nice. The challenges that you can implement into that course of fire for competitors, just for target acquisition and lots of other things like that, right? So
What's your full arc there? Start to like first stage through to the last stage. Like last time I was there, it was in a big L,
mhm.
kind of. What would that be? Like almost 180 degrees? Not quite. 100
Yeah,
and
you're
some
not
odd
quite
degrees.
because the way it travels, because the match that they did last year, you kind of follow the top of a ridge and then come, sorry, my fingers
Hmm.
off it. You come across and then you come down kind of like into the coulees,
Right.
right? Um,
Hmm.
you're getting pretty close to 180.
Yeah, that's what I
Like,
thought.
yeah, you're getting pretty close to 180 depending on how the stage layout is. A lot of the time though, we like to keep it safe. So when you come to your stage, your targets are generally going to be right in front of you.
Right.
You are going to
Yeah.
have certain areas where we might have a pan, but when we have that
Hmm.
pan, you're more than likely going to be crisscrossing targets, right? So these guys on squad 3 might be
Yeah.
shooting across where you're squad 4, right? Or above, like, yeah, you're going to split a bit, but it's generally going
And
to be,
your stages are what, like 100 meters apart ish, something
yeah.
like that.
So, yeah. So this year it might get a little tighter, just
Hmm.
because of the way that we're looking at doing it, where my game plan, but again, silent partners might say, no, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. Lots of things can change, but I don't think SAPRL's ever put on a bad course of fire. They've always been very fun, challenging, right? So we
Yeah.
promise to
Not
give
that
you
I've
that.
heard. Yeah.
My master plan is doing day one on one side, where it's more of you're shooting into the coulees, you're actually like in the coulees, really.
Hmm.
And then day two, you're kind of up top, but we're going to keep it so you're kind of shooting not in, you're not inside the coulees shooting the coulees, you're like above the coulees shooting. And lots of guys will know this from last year. Basically, stage, I think it's like 11 or 12 to 18 is kind of like that area where it starts to get more of like you're shooting into those draws and those
Right.
little
Yeah.
coulees in there. That's kind of what we're looking at for day two, and day one being if you've shot 3 years ago back in the day, they were in those areas. That's where we're going to be.
Hmm.
So it's hard to describe if you've
Yeah,
never
for
been
sure.
there, but
Unless you've actually seen it. Yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah.
have we have some different areas to play with for sure out there. So
Hmm.
it'll be it'll be a good match. And then for the rimfire match, we're planning on actually doing it where you're in the bottom of the coulee, so you're kind of walking through, and you'll be shooting up or into, and yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that's really hard to get on the prairies. Hey, any sort of
Hmm.
angles. It'd be
Yeah.
nice to be able to incorporate some of that into some of these events, but that's
Yeah.
it's tough to find. And
Yeah.
theoretically, I guess with rimfire, at least on paper, you could have a much larger arc of fire. A
Hmm.
lot of places in the prairies, like that property that you're on there. I think there's gobs of room all around it, that you wouldn't have
Yeah.
to worry too much about an errant round skipping across the country. But
Yeah.
still, like your your layout is more or less kind of that one coulee, with some switches and direction changes in that, but it's
Hmm.
it's more or less sort of west and southwest, isn't it?
Hmm. Yeah. And then, like I had
Mhm.
mentioned before, there's an area down by the river, but it's, I don't know. I got to look at it and take a peek before we
Yeah, it's tough,
cement on
man.
that idea, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
being like the first year MD, like I'm not gonna, I'll be brutally honest, like I'm probably gonna be in for a learning experience as well, right? with centerfire and
Mhm.
being out at that land. But there's there's help. I have help that are going to be
Oh yeah, you'll get it,
guiding me
man.
down this.
And yeah, and almost inevitably, you'll get through setting it up. The match will start to go off, and as the match is going, you'll get some ideas. Oh shit, I could have done this and I could have done that.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
invariably what happens.
I'm full of
Yeah.
ideas. I'm going to Chad or Sean. And I'm like, hey, what do you think of this? And they'll be like, oh, that's a good idea. Or like, that's stupid. Don't do that. I'm just like, all right, whatever. Or because they've
Shut
been
up.
doing it so long too. They're like, we've tried that.
Right.
Like it
And they
just
know
doesn't
that
work.
land.
Yeah. And I'm like, well,
Yeah,
what if
for
we do
sure.
this? And they're like, nah, nah. And I'm like, ah, all right, fine. But I have brought some ideas to the table for some stage designs and some different stage ideas as well that they've been like, yeah, that could work.
Well, that's good. When you get
Yeah.
that sort of reaction from a couple of veterans like that,
Yeah.
you're onto something, I think.
Oh, for
I
sure.
know out at
Yeah. And
my place, we're kind of fortunate for the rimfire stuff. We
mhm,
can swing a fairly wide arc because there's just enough trees in that around, like fairly dense bluffs that you can shoot into. There's no real danger of anything going out beyond, and
yeah.
we cover quite a large area, and it's especially nice if you get one of the events where everybody kind of goes together, like the whole field of shooters, because
Mhm.
we get down to the end sort of thing, and then we set up stuff so that you're actually shooting stages on the way back too.
Oh,
Last
okay.
year,
Yeah.
last couple of years, we kind of I've worn a trail down the entire length of the range, pretty much down the guts.
Yeah.
And so the way we set it up for rimfire, almost everything is kind of on the left side of that, on the
Hmm.
way out, and then on the way back, most of the stages are shooting the opposite direction. So
Yeah.
it works out well that way for my range.
Yeah. And like that's why we kind of have to do the day one, day two split because I don't think
Yeah.
either we do the full 18 stages live and you shoot the same ridge that they've done for many years, or we
Hmm.
try something different and do a day one, day two split and have you shoot in one location, and then day two you just find where the SAPRL trailer is and that's where day two is and you're shooting in a
Yeah.
slightly
Right.
different spot,
Yeah.
right? Just to get a little, and also too, like then you're getting a little bit of different environment and wind might be a little bit different on that side as well. Changes that
Hmm.
way too. So
Yeah, for sure. It's funny Yukai Kazi asks this. I was thinking about this several minutes ago, just a little while before he asked, but he says, "What are the coolies?" And coolies, aren't they spelled
C
Coulies?
yeah,
Coulees or something.
when you say
Ah,
coolies like
yeah.
that, it sounds like that elite group of kids at school, you wouldn't talk to because they're the coolies, right?
Right.
The cool guys. Yeah.
The jocks and the coolies and
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then there's me over in that corner, that weird kid eating a bug.
so correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't coolies and we have some around here too. You got to travel a ways to get them, but they're
Mm,
they're they're essentially erosion ditches,
yeah,
really, like really big erosion
yeah,
ditches. Runs
yeah.
down to a river.
You'll have a lot of runoff and stuff down there, but then like we were saying, it's
Mhm.
drier than fart out here.
Oh, is it ever dry out there? How much? You guys
Yeah.
don't have much snow out there either this year, do you?
We got we got hammered for a bit there actually, so we didn't get any Chinooks or global warming winds like we we normally do, and it just felt like winter was just like 3 or 4 months of just solid like cold. And I
Hmm.
live out outside of Medicine Hat actually, and we had so much snow out here that like you didn't know where the road was. You were straddling between posts to
Hmm.
stay on. The ditches were just full, so it we had quite a bit actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that right? Okay. I was
yeah.
just going by what a coworker was saying just
It's all
this
gone
past
now
week.
though.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the heat, it just melted it all off, and now it's just dry again. Well, it's getting dry anyways, but
Weren't you guys at 17 degrees or something there for a day or two
Yeah.
recently? Or
Yeah, it's gonna be
yeah,
15 tomorrow, right? But what
really?
happens out here though? Yeah, you get the heat, you get the wind, right? So
Yeah,
I'll set
yeah,
up an NRL 22 match at the Rifle Revolver Club. They, oh yeah, it's gonna be 12 degrees, sunny. We're gonna have a great match, and everybody rolls up and shit's flying
right.
around, and you got
Yeah,
35K gusts, and it's like,
helmet
oh,
straps
nice.
on.
Yeah, exactly. Tripods falling over, right? So,
Too funny. Where I
I
just
like shooting
came
at
from
that
last
club
night.
just because the you look over at the windmill like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a great day today.
yeah, yeah.
You
But
like that crap, Mike?
I do. Wind is still like you can get good at reloading, you can get good at shooting. Reading the
Mm.
wind is like it's still almost an art.
It's the great equalizer.
Yeah,
If
which
you're a really good shooter and you can put your reticle on target and pull the trigger, that's awesome. But if you can't read a wind correction or a wind change, well,
Oh,
you're not gonna hit that target, right?
especially you get the right angle coming through those coulees, and
Mm-hmm.
you see not only quick changes in wind, but
Mm-hmm.
wind going two directions simultaneously.
Yeah, swirling, drive.
Yeah.
It'll come down and it'll just drive your bullet down or up, right?
Yep.
Depending on the way it's coming. And you sometimes you don't know until you send off the first one and you go, oh, there it is, and then
Yeah.
make that correction,
Seems
right?
I'm more of a wind tester than I am a wind reader.
Do you have like grass in your pocket and you're throwing it in the air, seeing what it does? Or
All out of grass. No, I mean sending rounds down range to see what it does. Well, fuck, that was the wrong call.
yeah.
Boom. That was the wrong call too.
Yeah, it changed, right?
that's one of the
Yeah.
great things about shooting in southern Alberta and like southern part of Canada is the wind that we get
Mm,
to experience. Like you go
yep.
to BC, like it's a bit different. You go to Ontario, it's a bit different, but we have our own kind of brand of wind that's
Hmm.
our own.
Well, I'm putting my money where my mouth is this year, and I'm traveling out to the MDT Midsummer Madness PRS match, so I'll
Mm.
see what that's all about. I'd like to get out there and shoot some rimfire too, but it's not in the cards this year. I don't think. Got too much going on.
Now, but they go
Yeah,
late.
I
Like I
guess.
think they have matches in November still.
Yeah, yeah. BC PRL.
PRS.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Those luck
They do a
they
lot.
get so lucky with the weather. It's not even fair. They're
I don't
they're
like.
hosting matches right now. I'm like, this,
Yeah,
I object.
I
and like
thought I'd
for
read
Sap,
that. Yeah.
yeah, they are, and like for SAPRL, having matches in August and September is actually a change. I can't remember the last time Sean and Chad had a match that late, right?
Yeah, because they were
In the
May,
season.
June, weren't they?
Yep, they were always May, June. Yeah. And originally that's kind of what my game plan was. But to kind of make it so the calendar is a little bit more friendly to competitors, I made the decision to we'll back off and we'll try later-ish in the season and see how it goes. Grass is probably gonna be brutally tall, so be out there trying to cut that down, and maybe prone stages might turn into spool stages, so you just shoot modified prone off the spool. Who knows, right? But yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
maybe by that time the grass will have grown and died already.
yeah, yeah, flaked off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's gonna make the snake wrestling real fun if you can't see him.
Yeah. That's the whole point.
Nobody likes getting snuck up on by a snake.
No,
Hmm.
I do
Has
enjoy
that
those
has that
science
ever
at the
happened
range.
that you recall? Like I know there's
Getting
snakes out there, but
no, no, I haven't seen that. Um, the craziest thing I saw was actually not at a SAPRL match, but this was at the Apex Rocky Mountain match in
Mhm.
last year. Mike, you were there actually. Tony Haynes smoked one with his pump pillow and stunned it. Like it came out of the hole and he whacked it and it laid there like, oh, I just got hit. And then it got up and ran. He's
healthy.
just smoking this thing with his pump pillow, like trying to take this
Really?
gopher out. Yeah, it was actually like it was one of the wildest things I've seen with an animal on the firing line, anyways. But yeah, the landowner said
Wildest
if you see a
I
gopher, kill
seen
it. So
I mean,
Deal.
rules are rules. We got to follow them.
That's right.
Wildest thing I seen down south was like a black widow the size of a golf ball. Like, it was huge.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that you have to watch out for at our matches is, yeah, there's possible snakes and stuff like that, but it's mostly the cactus. Cactus is you'll go to lay down and you're getting a quill right in the thigh or something like that, and just keep an eye out for that. I'll try my best to make sure I'm not putting stages in cactus patches, but it's out there, right? That's why it's called the Cactus Cup.
Yeah. No guts, no glory.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, what's for the rimfire stuff?
Mhm.
Is there changes to allowable ammunition? We had Rick Caddick back with CRPS on a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about that, or was that last week?
Yeah.
Anyway,
That was last week.
Mhm.
sorry. Um, so there's a few changes to permittable ammunition there. Are you
Mhm.
doing the same thing?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be following the same rule structure as that too. So
Is that right? Okay.
yeah, if you're wanting to shoot a higher velocity ammunition, you can, but like I
Hmm.
can't let you compete with everybody else because you're on a different.
Yeah.
It's they're trying to make it so it's more standard and fair, right? And it. I shoot subs. I don't know. I hit stuff. I don't have a
I'd
problem.
argue it's a disadvantage shooting supersonic, anyways.
Well, yeah, because your bullet's not is more unstable because you're breaking the sound barrier. So you're breaking the sound barrier, and then you're coming back out of it, and it makes your bullet unstable as it's going through its path of flight.
Not only that, but most of the high velocity ammunition, the velocity is not consistent.
Yeah,
Like, I was shooting some Lapua, wonderful sponsor of SAPRL, like center X out of my Brigera. I was SD of like 5,
yeah,
ES of 14.
yeah,
Like,
Really?
yeah, it
yeah.
was awesome.
So, and Nick, I shoot an IBI pipe on my Rimex, and that thing just eats Ely match, just loves it like a fat kid in candy. And I'm printing a group like that of 10 to 15 rounds of, and I chronoed 100 rounds, and it was an ES of like not even 20 and an SD of 5.7 over 100 rounds with Ely match out of a rim fire. Like that's like center fire numbers. So like what you can do with that sport and those rifle systems is unreal.
I mean, naturally, you're not going to turn somebody away. So, like, okay, you're new and you didn't know, come shoot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we plan on being a welcoming environment too. So like when you show up and we do the match brief and I say, if you're a new shooter, raise your hand, and you raise your hand, I'm going to look to my ROs and say, okay, now keep an eye on those guys because they can be coached on the clock, right? Because when you come to a match like this where it's a pro match, a PRS pro match, and PRS sanctioned match, there's not supposed to be any coaching on the clock.
Mhm.
It's supposed to be equal playing field for everybody, right? But if you're new, like treat you like we're not gonna treat you like a pro. Like of course you're gonna come in, have a good time, and yeah, we'll coach you as well, right?
Yeah, I'd rather see someone get on target than I'm never
Yeah,
doing this again.
that's right. Yeah.
Agreed. UK Kazi says, do you get more keyholing with supersonic ammunition? I don't
I,
know. I don't know that anybody's like, I don't know anybody that's put it through paper at, transonic down into subsonic again. I don't, I don't know.
I don't think anyone's tried to do that, and I don't really think it's worth it. To be totally honest.
Yeah, I think most people just go straight to subs for sure. Anything under like 1150 is kind of where everybody's at with the rimfire
And
stuff.
realistically, like Ely or Lapua, it's all the European ammo that's you find what it shoots and you run with it.
Yeah.
So some guys get lucky that's CCI standard or mini mags loves their gun, but more often than not, you're going to be moving over to the higher end stuff.
Well, if you pick up a box of like Lapua Center X or Midas, like you're buying a quality round for a reason, right? Like and For a beginner, yeah, sure. Grab a box and see what it shoots, right? Like if it decreases your group size by 50%, well, man, it's going to make a huge impact at anything past 100 yards with rimfire.
And
And maybe
What
that's
was
worth it.
yeah, your kind of your main range of distances, I guess, for how you're going to set up your rim fire. Yeah, you've got your longer stages you talked about going out to 450. I'm assuming that's yards, or is that meters?
That'll be yards. Yeah,
Yeah.
450 yards.
But the bulk of it'll be, anywhere from 50 or 75 through to 300, 350.
Yeah,
What would
yeah. So I'm planning on having probably 50 to 60% of the rimfire stages between 80 and 240. Like
yeah, okay.
that's going to be the bulk of the match right there, and probably actually you can even say even 100 to 240 because with
Mhm.
the way we're doing the plan on doing the match is I want to challenge guys, and I find yeah within 100 yards is can be challenging, especially a 1 inch target, right? But um, when you start to really stretch rimfire out, it's when you can really start to see um, the gap in skill level too.
Yeah, I'll tell
Because
you, when you can see in what a lot of us call kind of normal conditions, when you can see that rimfire bullet out there actually drift,
yeah, you're
and
watching it
and
like
then you then you
arc into the
stretch that
target.
range and add
Yeah,
wind.
yeah. And like when I say that too, like again, we're trying to make I'm planning on making a balanced course of fire. So
Mhm.
the biggest way to go about that is if you're going to have a stage of 3 targets, you have one target that's a little closer, that's easier for guys to hit, and then you have one that's a little bit farther, kind of in the middle, a little bit harder to hit, and then you have one that's even
Right.
farther, right? So then that also too will split that leaderboard up a bit because I want new shooters to hit I want new guys to hit steel, right? Like that's the name of the game too, is getting people in the sport. So having a rimfire target at like 50 yards, sure, I'll just make it small,
Right.
but then they're comfortable,
Can't
right? Oh, it's
see
only
those.
50 yards. It's okay. So
Right.
So,
Oh, shit.
this came up when I was at the range the other day. So, I want to get into PRS. Can I come watch a match first before I go and jump into it? Is that something people are
Mhm.
going to be able to do with this, or we're going to keep the range closed?
So that really depends on how the lay of the land works once we finally get down there and actually start landscaping out how we're going to lay out the firing line. In years past, when they've done the lower valley area, lower coulee area that we're shooting in, day one, there was no access because of the way that the firing line is. That incoming road becomes it's in the area, and we safety being our number one priority, we will close that gate. If that happens though, if we do go that route, the shooters will be notified. People will know. So we'll put out a PSA on social media, stuff like that. Like, hey, like day one, you're coming to watch, you got to be here from the start to the finish. But
Mhm.
it would be nice to have it so that we could be a little bit more open and have people coming and going, but also to like my number one goal is well safety, but also putting on a good course of fire for the guys that are actually paying to compete, paying to be a
Yeah,
part of and being involved.
Yeah, and you don't imagine you have a whole surplus of bodies uh to have someone man the gate and direct traffic and
No,
kind of guide someone through the where everybody's actually actively
yeah,
shooting and that, so which is
mhm,
um I think the best way to go about something like that, uh
yeah,
unless that spectator knows the drill already, but how many of them would?
yeah, that's right. And if they're interested, just stay on our social media pages and stuff like that to get the updates too. So if you can come and spectate, you'll know. Um,
Mhm.
but again, like if you're really looking to spectate, plan to be there for probably most of the day, if not the whole day.
That'd be an
So
excellent experience, though, if you just want to show up with some binos and see what it's all about when you actually go through. This is what your day is actually going to look like when you come to one of these.
yeah, yeah.
And
And
the
if
amount
you
of
want to come
information you could
spectate,
soak.
and then even like help out a bit or just hang out, like that's cool too, for sure. Bounce from squad to squad, meet some people. Don't uh just don't make it a problem of safety, right? Just
Don't
stay
become a
back and
burden.
yeah, exactly, right. And we know that most people won't, eh? It's the firing line's very obvious when you're actually at one of these matches. You know where you're going to be standing, right? So yeah.
I'm also seeing here in the registration their t-shirt size. Why do you need to know my t-shirt size?
Yeah, so every competitor who registers will be getting a match specific t-shirt for the
Awesome.
match. So if you show
I
up to
love
all
Excellent.
three,
Which
you're gonna
logo?
well, for the Cactus Cup, you're gonna have the Cactus Cup logo on the back. For the Prairie Classic, you're gonna have the
Not
Prairie
a
Classic
compilation of
logo.
them all.
No, no, unfortunately not. But that would get a little busy with all that on there. And then yeah, like the heat wave one for sure, you'll have that too. So it's just trying something different. It's always been hats and stuff like that. And originally I wanted to make these suckers like like when you get a rock band shirt, you got the big logo and you got all the dates on the back, and
Oh
it's got all
yeah,
the
yeah,
match
yeah.
dates. That's
That'd be
kind of what I
cool,
was.
actually. Yeah.
That's what I was going for originally. You just have Cactus Cup and all that, but then I thought about it. Well, now you kind of date it because it's like 2024. So now if you could wear this shirt at Heat Wave in 2025 and it's still relevant. I don't know. It looked a little bit too busy, eh? But yeah, no, we're going t-shirts this year. So
I like it.
yeah,
Excellent idea.
yeah. And then we got some hats and
Mm.
stuff like that too. I'm not really sure what I want to do with these things yet, but I know that every one of my ROs is going to be getting a hat as well. So
You. It says, dude, I want a Prairie Classic t-shirt, but I don't want to renew my passport and spend money on plane, hotel, transport. Well, we
oh,
could
get
probably
in
put you up
touch.
somewhere, Uke.
If you really
Why?
want one, get in touch. We can make that happen.
Everything's
the
half
fuck?
off.
Left titty.
And he says it's got to have the left titties small print on the front and big ass print on the
Yeah,
back. All right. There you go.
yeah.
There's your order.
They're gonna be pretty. They're gonna be pretty cool t-shirts. And yeah, we're looking forward to guys enjoying all the swag and stuff that we can give them because we're looking at giving back to the competitors because these matches aren't cheap, right? Like um, it's not as expensive as shooting in the US, but if the more we can give back for your registration, the better. And honestly, with all the sponsors and support that we've had throughout the industry, it's looking like when you sign up for our match, you're going to walk away with some pretty awesome stuff. Then
Nice.
I'm not even talking just the prize table. Like I'm talking just being signed up. You're going to walk away with some
Right.
cool stuff. So
All right. Before we wrap, you want to rattle through some of your sponsors if you I know that's putting you on the spot, but any
no,
big ones you care to mention
yeah.
other than what
So
we've been through, but
I'm kind of on the sponsorship rollout scene right now. But for guys that are listening, you're going to get the full list. I had to write it all down. It's quite extensive. So like we said before, Lapua, thanks for coming on board with the Cactus Cup. It's fantastic to see them jumping into this sport and this community. I'm really looking forward to working with them. Hirsch Precision, Steven out there has been huge in with connections and with supporting all three of our matches. Korth Group,
amazing.
Prairie Precision Steel, cutting some of the most awesome AR 500 steel that you can buy. Go Big Tactical, MDT, Engage Precision out of Manitoba, Fat Boy Tripods, Reading Reloading, making sure that you know how to reload safely. Reloading All Day, learning how to reload safely, one step
Excellent.
at a time.
No kidding.
Spearhead Machine, Trigger Tech, EM Precision, you guys know them well.
Yes, sir.
Shane and the crew there are fantastic. Profit River Holdings out of Lloyd. Kestrel Ballistics, Tricer Tripods out of the States has jumped on, and they're going to be supporting all three of our matches as well. Every competitor is going to be getting something that they could possibly use from Tricer. Scope Precision Targets, Boss Gear, Colt 45 Plasma Cutting all sorts of cool
He's
signs and
local,
stuff.
isn't he?
Oh yeah. He's just out of Lloyd, I think, as well. That's Colt Soppet. Yeah,
Great.
yeah. He's lasering some pretty cool stuff for us, so looking forward to that. Dominion Outdoors, all sorts of precision rifle gear and accessories. NFA, National Firearms Association. Be Humble Clothing Co. They're actually the local company that's been doing our hats, our shirts, even the stickers you guys have seen. They can do anything. Check them out. And Bag Bomb Co. He's a newer guy that's making some bag wax. So we're looking to put him in the match book in the table and getting him some exposure as well. So
Nice.
that's about
Go ahead.
about 23 sponsors at this point.
Beauty.
23 supporters. Yeah. Not including also the PRS supporters as well. So you're looking at like Spur, Hawkins, some of your bigger American brands as well that are going to be there. So there's going to be a lot of support for our community this year. And
Perfect.
there's quite a few companies on our list that we're still waiting to hear back from as well that have said that they're committed, but I couldn't put them on the list because we haven't cemented something yet. But yeah, we're really looking forward to the 2025 season.
Excellent. I was going to say, I know a fella out that way that has a food truck. I know he makes a mean brisket.
Oh yeah. I might know the guy.
You might. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bjelland, Jason Bjelland, Big Mutt. I'm not sure what he calls his food truck, but
Is it Friar Tuck's?
yeah, I don't know. I never asked him.
Yeah, I know.
I
know
work with him.
exactly
We don't get into those details.
Yeah. No, and like we're still looking for any company or anybody who's interested in being a title sponsor of our other two matches as well, Heat Wave and Prairie Classic. Those are still available. If anybody out there that's looking for some wicked exposure and helping out the community in a large way and partnering with us at SAPRL, we're here.
Awesome.
We're here to help. So
all right. Tell the fine folks how to find out about your stuff, where to find you, etc.
So we're on Facebook and Instagram. Just search Southern Alberta Precision Rifle League, and we'll be on there if your algorithm's playing nice with you. And you can also find us on the PRS website as well under clubs, Southern Alberta Precision Rifle League. You'll be able to find a list of all our matches as well. And our registration is open at this point for all three of our matches on Practice Score. So you can get in and get signed up as well. Something that might come as a surprise to some shooters that I've done this year as well is as soon as you sign up and you're approved to squad and you've paid, you can squad. Squatting's open. First come, first serve. If you want squad one and you want to be in that specific number, get in, get registered, get paid up, and have at her. So
it's quick.
Yeah.
Right on top of it.
Yeah.
All right. Famous last words. Anyone?
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming. Even though we just got kicked so hard again today by our friends in Ottawa, it's good to hear that there's some positivity coming out. Like, I'm looking, everyone's losing their mind. Like, oh, it's the end of the world. I'm like, I cannot wait for the 2025 season.
Yeah. We're looking to having you at some of our matches there, Mike.
Oh, I'm going to be there like a dirty shirt. Don't you worry.
Yeah. No, it'll be an awesome year, and we're looking to help grow the sport and grow the community. So
excellent. All right. Well, you got something else, Mike, or you want to wrap?
I was going to say the knife thing. We should say the knife thing.
Oh, giver.
Folks, if you wanted to support the show directly, working the YouTube grind pays less than running a lemonade stand, doing what we do, trying to bring you some interesting stuff, guests like Tyler, SHOT Show, any other shows we can get to. And it doesn't all add up. But if you wanted to help support the show directly, consider supporting us by heading over to storydknives.com or CDN Precision if you're out east and pick up one of our Gardner knives. It's probably one of the best survival everyday carry knives that you would want to own, be seen owning, and we're kind of proud of it. So if you want to do that, head over to CDN Precision or storyknives.com. I had to do the knife plug. It says it.
You're a good man. I don't care what I've heard about you. All right.
Some of it might even be
And
true.
for the see you still here, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/BS podcast. Leave a review. Let us know how we're doing. Send us an email at info@bspodcast.ca. And I'll say again, please, no nudes. You guys got to stop that. I'm really tired of it. I look at every one of them, though. But anyway, that's on me, I suppose. Massive thank you to all of our sponsors who tolerate us. Without you, we wouldn't have a show. Excuse me, to bring on great guests like Tyler. We're talking about Shane and Steve. This is my first day with a new tongue. With Ian Precision Rifles, Miles, Carey, and Cappy with call sign 66, Duncan and Rob at Bolt Action Coffee, Phil Odell at Odell Engineering, Doug and Niesel with March Scopes Canada, Vanya and Carly with Apex Optics, Oscar with Ribstone Gunsmithing, and JR Cox with Sterling Arms International. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully you'll stick around for next week and the following week and thereafter. All right. Good. Thanks, Tyler, again.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Gotcha.
And we'll see you all on the
right.
firing line.
absolutely.
You bet. Jen with CS AAA next week. Talk about more governmental fuckery. Should be a good time.
Yeah. Just
Okay,
grill her.
folks. Yeah. All right. No finger pointing, though.
Yeah.
Okay, Kurt, hit the button.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
This right here has the ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
You're listening to your weekly dose of BS, ballistically speaking. The Ballistically Speaking Podcast.